Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today to talk about interracial dating, basically swirling. And I must say that I have had a few instances where I dated outside my race. Now, in each of these instances, I wasn't the pursuer. Basically, I was in an environment where there were young people of all different races. One instance was when I was in college, and another instance is where I worked at an amusement park here in the state that I live in. Now, in each of these instances, I was just a young girl out having fun and, open for the experience. I've always known that I prefer men of color. I just do. It's just my thing. I love black men, but I also believe that when you're young, you should experience things that come your way. And a lot of people may not agree with that, but that's just the way I believe. Now, in the first instance, I was at college. I was at a party, and a young white man came up to me and he told me that he liked the hat that I had on. I had on a brim that my grandfather had given me. Back then, I used to love men's brims. I loved them, and my grandfather had given me a couple of his, and I was wearing them like nobody's business. Just loved them. So when this young man came up to me and commented on my brim, I thanked him. And, I just told him that my grandfather gave it to me, and I loved it, and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't think anything else about it. So I continued on talking to my girlfriends, and he came up again, and he asked me to dance. And I was like, okay, what is this white boy, what is he doing? So we danced and had fun. And then when I went back to where my girlfriends were, he followed me back to where they were. And we just struck up a conversation. A couple of his friends came over. We were all laughing and just having fun. So again, didn't think anything about it. Just thought it was a young white boy that, was just having fun with us that night. Now, he continued on hanging out with me in the group that I was in. And eventually, when we were about to go, he asked me for my phone number. So at first, as you can imagine, I was a little taken aback. I was thinking to myself, what is his motives? Blah, 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 the whole nine. But being at the time maybe 19, 20 at the most, I said, what the hell? Gave him my phone number. So went on home, didn't think anything about it. I was young. I'd been out at many parties where guys had asked for my phone number, and I really didn't think he was going to call me. The next day, to my surprise, he did. He asked me, did I want to go to lunch? I was a college student and, free meal. I was like, okay. We went to lunch. We started talking. And he just, we hit upon that conversation where, have you ever dated outside of your race? I told him that I had not. He asked me, was I attracted to white guys? I said I never thought about it. I had always been in an environment where I only dated black men. So he told me that, he liked women of color. He said that he liked all women, and that night he had just found me attractive and he wanted to hang out with me. So still being a little skeptical, at the college I went to, if you were caught dating outside your race, they would label you an Oreo. So I was a little nervous about being seen with him, believe it or not, y'all. I was thinking to myself, oh my God, if I am seen with him, it is going to be the talk of the, the black folks on campus. But, I said, you know what? I want to have this experience. He seems fun, and we'll just keep it light. So we started dating a little bit. And I must say I had fun with him, because what I realized is once we got past all of the questions about, this thing with black people, this thing with white people, at the end of the day, he was just a guy, just another guy. He just happened to be of another race. Now, as you can imagine, I did not take him to any of the black things on campus. I was not going to be showing up at a step show with this white boy with me. So pretty much we did things around the campus, other things, and we had fun for the month or so that I saw him, because it was not anything long term. Basically, what made me stop seeing him is I met a black guy, actually, and I was thinking to myself, okay, I met this cute black boy. I am going to kick this white boy to the curb, and I'm going to be dating this black boy. And it was as simple as that. We blew into each other's lives. We had fun together. Now, what I must say is the first time that I kissed him, y'all, he had taken me home back to my dorm, and we were sitting in his car. We were just talking, and I told him, well, you know what? I'm going to get on out of here. I got class in the morning. I'll check you later. So he came around to open up my door, and when I got out and I stood up, he kissed me. And I was thinking, oh my God. Y'all, what's weird, the weird part about it is, I know this sounds crazy, but his skin was so light, because I was used to being with black eyes. It seemed like he was glowing in the dark, child. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Now, this relationship only lasted about a month and a half, maybe 2 at the most. It wasn't long term. So I never had any type of intimate relationship with him at all. It was simply dipping my foot in the pond of another race, someone outside, my race. Now, the next time I had, stuck my foot in that pond, I was working at a local amusement park during the summer, and I actually had a party at my apartment, and I had told my roommates, I had black roommates and white roommates, and I told each of them that they can invite, some friends. So we had a house full, and we were playing quarters, and we were playing like in teams. So this young white guy said he wanted to be on my team, because every team that I had been on, prior to him being my partner, we had won. So he was like, I want to be on your team because you keep winning. So we were laughing and having fun, and of course slowly getting drunk, because at one point we were not winning. So, after the game had shut down, I went and sat down on my couch, and I was eating something, and he came and sat down beside me, and he started talking to me. So, the rest of the night we were hanging out with my friends, talking and laughing, and I noticed that he had a little swag about him, and I could tell that he dated black girls. I could just tell. And didn't think anything about it. My party ended, blah, blah, blah. So the next day, my black roommate, one of the girls that, because we lived in an apartment where there were 11 girls. There were 5 bedrooms, 2 to a bedroom. One of them had 3. So one of my roommates, she worked near where this white guy worked, on at the amusement park. We worked at Cedar Point, for any one of you who's familiar with Cedar Point. So she came to me and she told me that this white boy had found her at work, and he asked her, did she think that I would date a white guy? And she said that she had laughed and she told him, why didn't you ask her? I'm not going to be carrying messages back and forth. So she asked me, Rachel, would you be opposed to dating him or, going out with him? And I was like, well, I don't want to go out with him by myself. I told her the only way that I would go out is if her and her boyfriend would go with me. Even though I had an experience previously, I was at college the other time, and the guy that I dated, most of our dates were on campus. But, when I worked at the amusement park, we weren't going to have a date at the amusement park. We were going to go outside of it. So I didn't know where he would take me, and I didn't feel comfortable. So what I told my friend is, you guys pick me up, and then we'll go pick him up. I don't want him to come to where I live, So that's how we arranged it. So we all went out and we had a good time. We went out to dinner and then we went out to a club afterwards. Now, when we went to the club that we went to was predominantly white. And when we got up to dance, I did get a couple strange looks, and some white girls were saying, just looking at me all crazy, because I must say this white boy was kind of cute, y'all. He was kind of cute. So I ended up having a good time. I felt safe because my friends were with me, and the next couple of days went that way. I went out with him with my friends, and then it came to the date where he was picking me up, and we were going to go out by ourselves this time because I ended up feeling comfortable with him. And this white boy explained to me that he had basically dated black girls exclusively. And he talked about how when he went to high school, he had dated predominantly black girls. I asked him, had he run into any problems with his friends, say anything with his family, blah, blah, blah. And he said that because when he first started dating, he, originally dated, black and white, that pretty much his family had gotten used to it. He said that his grandparents did have a problem with it. He said that, basically he was living his life and he felt that he was going to experience every type of girl and that he wasn't going to exclude, someone because of their race. And pretty much that was how I felt at the time. I was young. I knew that, at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, I would not be ending up with a white guy. I knew at the end of the day that when I got married, when I had children, the 9, it would be with the brother. And I will say it's because I just love black men. That's just the bottom line. I love their swag, and I just felt that a black man was the true man that would love me for all of me. My butt, my lips, my nose, my whatever. My skin. He was the man that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. A black man was the man that I wanted to have my children by. But I, being young, wanted to experience things that came my way. I didn't want to shut out someone because of their race. Now looking back on it, and I'm in my 50s, I'm glad I did that. I even dated when I was a teenager. I think I was 16, 17. I dated a Puerto Rican guy. And other than, just hanging out and, talking on the phone a lot, because I really wasn't able to date until I was 16 or 17. And when I was younger, the type of dates my parents let me have, I call them play dates. Basically, they would say, you know, you can go on a date with him, but you can only be gone 4 hours. And that included the bus ride, the movies they took in account. The movie would last 2 hours. They gave us like a half an hour to get something to eat, and then, you know, to catch the bus back and forth. So just basically, if I went on a date at noon on a Saturday, I had to be home between 4 and 4:30. My parents did not play, so it wasn't no time for no hanky-panky. So I dated that little Puerto Rican guy when I was a teenager, and you know, nothing happened other than a lot of kissing, and he was a cutie pie, and I just like parading him around my friends because he was really cute, and he was very, very affectionate, and he tried to teach me a little Spanish, and it was fun. I met him at a little teen club that everyone used to go to in our city on Sundays. There was a little club that on Sundays they had a little teen dance, and I think the dance started like at 4 and it would be over at 8. It might have been on Saturdays. I think it was Saturdays because I don't think my parents would have let me stay out on a Sunday, you know, and I was somewhere across town. So it must have been on Saturday. But that was the extent of that. Now, the last guy that I dated when I was working at the amusement park, he was white, and I was intimate with him. We dated the entire time that I was there, and, you know, it was a little different, y'all. And the reason why I say it was different, not anything to do with their private parts, because, you know, I didn't really see the difference. But what was different is this color thing, because it felt like, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I felt like he was glowing in the dark. I'm just gonna keep it real. I was used to it being dark, and you know, you're up against a black guy and his chocolatey skin or his caramel color skin. So this light color skin, y'all, I'm just gonna keep it real. It was almost like some baloney. I was thinking, this is so weird. You know, I don't know what was going through my mind thinking that he was glowing, but that's the thing that I could remember about it. I couldn't get past the color of his skin. And maybe that's just something because, again, I love black men and I was just experimenting, and this is what I remember thinking at the time. Now, again, with this guy, even with him, what made us break up is, again, I was young and I was the type, you know, if I liked someone and, you know, we were dating and something else better came along, y'all, I would just blow on to the next one. So basically, I met a black guy that I liked, and I ended up breaking up with the white guy and dating the black guy. And the black guy is one that even after the summer ended and my job ended at Cedar Point, the relationship with the black guy extended on to when I went home from Cedar Point. So those were my experiences twirling, y'all. And basically, my twirl experience was just that, an experience. I was young, I was having fun, and I don't regret it. It gave me, you know, I guess an insight into what it's like to date outside my race. Now, my family, I don't know. I don't think my brothers were feeling it too much. My mother was the type that would say, as long as they're treating you, you know, well, and, you know, one of them even came home and met my mother, my family. So, you know, my family was, my immediate family you know, like I said, my brothers may not have been feeling it because they were black guys. And, you know, they were thinking, you know, I hope this is not something that she's going to be doing forever. You know, hopefully this is just an experience. None of my siblings, I don't think, have dated outside, you know, the race. And again, I think a lot of this, my dating outside of my race, was more of, I was in an environment where there were, and I call us kids, we were 19, 20, you know, that age, 18, 19, 20. We were in an environment where there were, you know, quite a few races, and we were just, you know, in college, you know, at jobs that we had. And I think that that's what it was. When you are, you know, in social situations where there are multiple races, and these social situations are not here and there, it's your daily, your norm. You know, this is not something that you're only going to see them once or twice. This is the living environment that you live in. You come into contact with each other, and some of us are attracted to each other, and you know, there are those that are not. So when you come into those, you know, intimate contacts, you are gonna look over and say, hey, you know, he's kind of cute, or she's kind of cute. Because the group of friends that I have been friends with over the years, you know, they're open, they're adventurous, and because of that, I was exposed to these situations. Now, again, you know, I am the type of woman, that I just love black men. I love their swag. I love everything about them. And like I said, I think these were just experiences that I had when I was younger. And now that I'm a parent, would I be opposed to my children dating outside of their race? And the answer is no. As long as the person that they get with treats them, you know, with respect, is kind, and genuinely cares for my child, I do not have a problem. My daughter has dated outside of the race once. She was about 18. And my son, I don't think so. I think my son, you know, just strictly likes black girls. And y'all, that is my swirl experience. Now, I would be curious to know what you guys think of my experience. And also, have you ever dated outside the race? And if so, what is it that you remember most about your experience? Y'all, I said that what I remember most is that glowing skin. I don't know why that's my memory, but that is. Because what I told you is, once we got past, you know, the black-white thing, at the end of the day, they were just a guy. You know, now I don't know if it would have, if we would have gotten any more serious. How would it have been? Because let's face it, I was young. You know, I was 18, 19, 20. I was young. It wasn't something that I did, you know, once I was in my mid to late 20s. So I don't know what it would have been like if we were, you know, adults and we were being really serious, and you know, this went on for years or something. Mine was a few months here, a few months there, and that was the extent of it. So again, I would like to know what you think of my experience, and if you've had an experience dating outside the race, put it down in the comments, good or bad. And with that, everyone, thank you for watching my video, and you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.